Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to NoDQ&A video right here on NoDQ.com, as well as the YouTube channel and NoDQ&A videos affiliate, ringsidenews.com. This is episode number 850 of NoDQ&A video, the longest episodic YouTube wrestling series in history. Thank you all for your support of NoDQ&A video. If this is your first time watching, welcome aboard. My name is Aaron Rift. I'm the owner of NoDQ.com. I've been doing Q&A videos for over 5 years now here on NoDQ.com and the YouTube channel. Got your questions, got a lot of questions. This will be an extended edition today of NoDQ&A video. First one comes from Daniel Bones Maloney. I think if Daniel Bryan wants to leave and wrestle elsewhere, WWE may just find a way to clear him. What are your thoughts? I think it's unlikely we will see Daniel Bryan wrestle in WWE again. It was clear that the whole Daniel Bryan Miz talking smack segment was done to elevate the Miz and nothing more. If Bryan was going to wrestle again in WWE, there would have been a follow-up. There would have been some sort of continuation of that storyline. Instead, Bryan just did that one segment when Smackdown started backstage, and then it was The Miz and Ziggler. That was the direction. And that's it. Unfortunately, there was no follow-up. I think people got their hopes up that Daniel Bryan just might come back out of retirement for one more match, but just wasn't to be. And it's unlikely WWE will ever clear him because his problems could just be recurring and chronic, something that never goes away. And if that's the case, he's not going to be cleared to wrestle again. So as unfortunate as it is, we've probably seen the last of Daniel Bryan in WWE in terms of performing in the ring. Now, will they let him leave? No. They're going to keep him around, whether it's as the GM or having him do commentary or various other jobs. They'll keep him around until his contract expires. And then at that point, if he wants to wrestle somewhere else, that'll be up to him. Got this one here from Robert Hendershot. Hey Aaron, do you think AJ Styles should go over at Backlash and win the WWE title? I think he should. Absolutely. It is definitely time for AJ Styles to win the WWE title. He just beat the face that runs the place, John Cena. He has a ton of momentum right now. Dean Ambrose has been falling flat a bit as champion coming off of SummerSlam, the less than spectacular match with Ziggler, and he just hasn't felt like a WWE champion. Dean Ambrose feels like a mid-carder holding the WWE title, and it's not really Ambrose's fault, it's the way the company has been portraying him, but AJ's the guy that has been on fire in WWE, and he's pretty much the best performer in the company right now. On NoDQ.com, I did a poll. 90% feel it's time for AJ to win the title, and I completely agree. I think that if not at Backlash, then at Hell in a Cell, AJ should definitely be the WWE champion before the year is over, and the sooner the better. This one comes from Billy Bravo. Do you happen to see the comments from Vince Russo about David Arquette being more over than KO? Your thoughts. This is coming from the guy that thought Jeff Jarrett was over and deserving of being the world champion and being the top guy in the company. That's Vince Russo. Now, here's the thing about Russo. He's trolling everybody. Russo is doing these podcasts and these videos as a source of income. He's trying to make money. So Russo is going to do whatever it takes to get people talking about him and get websites like NoDQ.com covering his opinions and getting his name out there. Russo thrives on the drama and people talking about him because as far as he's concerned, it's the Eric Bischoff approach. Controversy creates cash. He's trolling everybody. When he makes comments like that, he knows damn well it's going to offend people and get them pissed off. And that's what he's looking for. He's looking to get his name out there and make the headlines. This one comes from @BarsAndKicks. How do you feel about Russo's criticism of Owens and Zayn? Couldn't disagree more. again, it's Russo trolling people. Does he really believe that Kevin Owens is not deserving to be in his spot that Owens is in? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's just Russo putting on a performance or if he really feels that way. You never know with Russo. The guy is a little strange. He's from New York. What can I say? Russo is an interesting character. Not sure what to make of his opinions other than he will say whatever he needs to say to increase his business and get people talking about him. In my opinion, Owens and Zayn absolutely 100% deserve to be where they're at right now. Both of them have worked so hard and are two of the best performers in the entire world. And I've been singing their praises for over a decade, going back to PWG. I saw those guys going out there and just tearing it up at the PWG shows. And yeah, I had hesitated about them being able to succeed in WWE. I had not really considered it a realistic possibility that either of them would make it in WWE because they did not have the right look. But the business has changed. It has evolved. And at the end of the day, WWE is doing what Russo failed to do in WCW and TNA for that matter, and that's create new stars. Even if they're not as mainstream as the Attitude Era stars, and even if they're not as mainstream as the biggest stars in the history of the industry, WWE is creating new stars with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, and these guys absolutely deserve it. They are incredible performers and the best in the world at what they do, to use a line from Jericho. Got this one here from Oscar. With Del Rio getting his release, could you see Paige pulling an AJ and retiring so she can get out of her contract? That remains to be seen. I mean, nothing would shock me at this point. I think that things could go either way with Paige. Maybe she will stick around and have a renewed passion for what she's doing, and maybe she'll get over everything that's been going down in the last several months. Maybe she'll come back with more fire and more determination to succeed. Or maybe she'll just decide WWE is a hostile working environment and it's better off to work on the indies, work in TNA, or just do something else. I really feel the only person that really knows is Paige, what she's going to do. If she's going to stick it out in WWE or try to get out of her contract with the company. I mean, I would think that if she's not happy and she's miserable, that they would just give her a release and let her go. We'll see. I mean, who knows? This one comes from John. Do you think WWE might keep Enzo with Cass and still give one of them a title run? Do you think that this could work? I think WWE will keep them together for the time being. Like I've said in previous videos, it's way too soon to break them up. They are really hot as a tag team, and I think there's a lot of mileage you can get out of them as a team for now. No need to break them up maybe until WrestleMania season. For now, let them do their thing. They're a hot act. Why break them up when they're perhaps not even at their peak yet as a tag team? I mean, they might continue to get even more over as the weeks go on. Who knows? Got this one here from Ricky Lawson. In your opinion, has the days of the Giant being stars have become extinct? It seems they're not special attractions. That is just the case of the wrestling business evolving and changing, and it's not about the individual stars. That's how it used to be decades ago, where a particular star could potentially sell out a building and that person would carry the promotion. Now it's different. Now it's about the WWE brand. People go to WWE shows to see the WWE brand, not necessarily to see a specific star. That is why it's not quite as important for guys to have the super bodybuilder physiques. Why guys like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn don't need to look like stars from previous eras, because the business has changed. That's what Russo needs to realize it has changed and evolved, and what worked in 1999 or even before that does not work today. And yeah, with the exception of Brock Lesnar, there are really not that many special attractions. I guess you have The Rock and you have the part-timers basically that are your special attractions, and that's pretty much it. And with a few exceptions like The Rock, I mean, they really don't make that much of a difference. They might increase subscriptions to the network, maybe boost TV ratings a little bit, maybe increase the house show business a little bit, but not much. I mean, even at this point with the network, guys like The Rock do not really make all that much of a difference. When you still had the era of $60 pay-per-views, somebody like The Rock coming in for WrestleMania could make a big difference. Now, because everyone's paying $9.99, it doesn't matter. I mean, it really doesn't like it used to. This one comes from Andy. Hardy's, Dudleys, APA, Edge and Christian all got opportunities to be single stars. Why weren't Too Cool given the same chance? In the case of Bryan Christopher, I know he had personal issues, and that's what ended up leading to his departure from WWE. And the thing is, Too Cool, even though they were really hot as an act in the WWF during the Attitude Era, they were never among the top superstars, and I think that Rikishi was seen as the star of the team, and when it came to do jobs, it was usually Scotty 2 Hotty or Bryan Christopher doing the jobs, and Rikishi was the guy that got the big push. So I just think it was because WWE did not see Too Cool, the tag team, as a major league team like Edge and Christian and the Hardys. They were popular, but they weren't quite as popular as the other teams. This one comes from Casey. Rumors going around about a Shield reunion. Do you think it's too soon for that if it does happen? It's definitely a possibility now. We have all 3 Shield members as babyfaces for the first time, but Dean Ambrose is on SmackDown, and we always could see a Dean Ambrose heel turn at some point, maybe as soon as Backlash. I mean, I've been asked about a double turn between Ambrose and AJ Styles, so right now it's not the right time, but maybe 6 months from now, maybe for a special show like WrestleMania, you could do a Shield reunion. That might be a nice idea for WrestleMania. Maybe do brand versus brand and have the Shield work together, or get Dean Ambrose on Raw, or do something where the Shield is back together again for one more big match. I mean, there's definitely intrigue in that. So I think that it will happen at some point. I just don't see it happening in the near future. This one comes from @RavishingRaven. What is your opinion on Braun Strowman? Do you see him as a future main eventer, and could Paul Heyman add something more to him? He is a guy. I think he did a good thing by changing up his look a little bit, but the music is very goofy, over the top. He does remind me of like an 80s heel monster type character, like a King Kong Bundy or an Earthquake. I think that he will have limited potential in WWE. I think you might be able to get 1 or 2 big pay-per-view matches off of him, have him feud against the top babyface for a while. But beyond that, I think once the squash matches are done, he's going to be exposed again, and he'll go right back to where he was before. And, you know, he's one of those guys that I think, unless he's protected, he'll end up being a comedy figure like a Great Khali eventually at some point. Maybe he'll get lucky like Rusev, and just as he's getting close to that comedy character, the company will decide to give him a renewed serious push. But this is already his second big push. He was pushed as part of the Wyatt family, and now he's getting this new push. After this, I don't know if they're going to invest in him a third time, giving him a major singles push. I'm not so sure. I doubt they'll put Paul Heyman with him, and I really doubt Paul Heyman would make much of a difference. I mean, Paul Heyman could only do so much for guys like Ryback and Heidenreich. I mean, it's clear that not everybody is cut out to be a Paul Heyman guy. This one comes from Angelo C. Who should Nakamura feud when he's called up to the main roster? I'd love to see him face AJ Styles on Smackdown Live. I'd like to see Nakamura versus AJ Styles at WrestleMania. I think the two guys that would be best to work with Nakamura would be AJ Styles and Seth Rollins. And also Kevin Owens. Maybe even Jericho. I know Nakamura and Jericho had some house show matches against each other. Why not do that match at a major pay-per-view? Those are the main guys I would like to see. And even Nakamura versus Sami Zayn again, I'd love to see. This one comes from Dave Lesnar. Which was a better storyline, Batista and Triple H or Batista and Undertaker? Along with Cena, were these Batista's best feuds and matches? I would say Batista and Triple H was the better feud because it really put Batista on the map. It made him one of WWE's top superstars, not just a guy on the roster, but a top tier guy. It made him. That WrestleMania match, the whole feud, really got Batista's career into high gear. And then that Hell in a Cell match really got him over. That Hell in a Cell match was awesome. Great match. And for Batista and Undertaker, definitely their WrestleMania match is up there among the better Batista matches. One feud I would like to mention that you did not note on here was Batista versus Rey Mysterio with the Batista heel turn at Bragging Rights. Awesome heel turn from Batista. And I just enjoyed the chemistry between those two guys. They had that long-term friendship, and then Batista just lashed out at Rey Mysterio and said, "I'm going to knock your head off." Great stuff. Awesome feud. Got this one here from IMSXRQE. Do you think Heath Slater and Rhino can be the next SmackDown Tag Team Champions? I would say absolutely if they were not facing American Alpha in the finals. Now, it could end up being the Usos versus Heath Slater and Rhino. Maybe WWE could book a screw job where American Alpha gets screwed, but it's weird because I would say under normal circumstances, American Alpha should definitely be the first tag team champions. I mean, really, I think they still should. As much as Heath Slater is over with the fans right now, and there's a certain portion of the audience that is very sentimental towards Slater. Everyone's chanting the "We Want Slater" chants at live events. You know, he's become a big deal to a lot of people. He's a cult favorite right now. But I really feel American Alpha should be the first SmackDown Tag Team Champions. I mean, as much as I like what Slater's doing right now, him and Rhino are still pretty much a comedy act. And I think for the tag team titles, you want it to be taken seriously. And what better way to have people take the title seriously than to have American Alpha as the champions? I mean, that's as legit as it gets. This one comes from Ben Tooth. If this brand split fades out, do you see SmackDown still being live? As long as the ratings are solid, I think WWE will keep SmackDown as a live show. So far, the ratings have been up from what they were prior to the brand split. It is definitely at least a moderate success. And if the ratings continue to stay solid, then there'll be justification for keeping the show live. If the ratings go back to the way they were before and the brand split fades away, then yeah, to save money, they might go back to being a tape show. But by doing that, you're also admitting what you've been doing was a failure. So I do not see WWE giving up on the live SmackDowns anytime soon, especially if the ratings stay good. That'll wrap it up for this edition of NoDQ&A video. Thanks again for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, please share it with a friend. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, any social media site. Please share this video with your fellow wrestling fans. Anybody you know who watches, have them check out NoDQ&A video. And stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest regarding Backlash, as well as CM Punk's UFC debut. Check out my UFC 203 video with Mike Nagel up on the channel. And I will see you guys next time for episode number 851 of NoDQ&A video.